and teachers and fellow colleagues. I stand here for all the people who feel insecure about expressing their opinions, thoughts, emotions, and ideas. I stand here for all the people who felt society had duct taped their mouths and prevented such an expression. I stand here to shed light on the importance of preserving such a human right. You see, freedom of speech is one of the most fundamental freedoms and rights in a democratic society. Any person, and I mean any person, who fully enjoys his human rights would be immune against any attempt to influence his actions or intentions when it comes to expressing opinions, thoughts, emotions, and many more. However, despite the major importance of such a human right, freedom of speech comes with great responsibility and certain limitations, only to avoid violating other people's rights. This right, by any means, does not authorize one to discriminate, offend, or insult other people. We humans, as rational beings, crave to do many things, yet in such a civil society, these cravings have to be maintained, controlled, or reconstructed. Freedom of speech possesses rather a deepening meaning, which allows oneself to express his views and form an opinion about various issues. The same applies to freedom of speech. I don't want to live in corruption. I want to change the society. I want to influence people. Well, shh, silence. No one wants to hear what you want to say. You see, society has its way of dealing with people that may seem different, where they're flat out accused of being an outsider and being treated as one, violating the right to live without being judged or discriminated, a right to live in a world where racism ceases to exist. Such rights were protected and made possible by people who stood up for their rights and spoke their mind, soul, and heart. Would colored people have gotten their rights hadn't Martin Luther King spoken about equality in his iconic speech? Had it not been possible to significantly reduce the issue of slavery if it weren't for Abraham Lincoln's speech during the Civil War? Would we even be here if it weren't for those inspirational and brave icons that strave to maintain our human rights? Let us not neglect what Martin Luther King, Nelson Mandela, Abraham Lincoln, Frederick Douglass, and Harriet Tubman, and many more stood up for. If they remained silent back then what are the odds that we would be living like sheep to be slaughtered? We live in a community where this right is so often overlooked due to the persistent fear of not satisfying society's so-called standards. This is where we step up. Neither I nor should anyone allow any acts of silencing or censoring. We, the youth, won't comprehend such an action by no one and nowhere. We have the right to influence society and change it for the better. It is us who have the power to form a future that is suitable to pass on to future generations. A future which grants every person his human rights and freedom of expression the way it should be. It only takes 5 seconds of courage to influence the people. It's our time to express our ideas, thoughts, opinions, emotions through any means necessary, whether it is by writing, dancing, writing, or even publishing. We shall not be silenced, censored, or hushed by illusionary duct tape. We shall share our opinions and ideas without the fear of retaliation, censorship, or sanction, and so shall our voices reach many. Hence, let it not be said that I was silent when they needed me. Thank you.